Hi, welcome to another reading vlog. So this week's vlog was supposed to be reading books from my 23 and 23 TBR, and I had got a spinner wheel with all of the unread books from my 23 and 23 TBR. There's quite a lot of them, and I was going to be reading random books off that. However, I'm not doing that. So this week, last week, Iron Flame came out. One of my most anticipated books of the year. Well, a book I was really anticipating anyway. Earlier this month, I got Swordcatcher, a book I'm really anticipating. I still haven't read Wildfire, a book I'm really anticipating. I want to finish off the Golden Enclave series, also a book I'm really anticipating. So I have decided to switch this vlog to just be reading books that I'm really excited to read, or like read my most anticipated books. So I'm starting off with Iron Flame. Little bit nervous because it is so hyped that what if I don't like it? I mean, what if I don't like it? I loved Fourth Wing. It was one of my top books of the year, and so I am fairly nervous. Iron Flame, I think I probably am going to want to break from fantasy, so I'm thinking Wildfire is on my TBR, Golden Enclave is on my TBR, and Swordcatcher. I don't think realistically I'm going to get to Swordcatcher this week, just because I meant to start this vlog yesterday. Today's Saturday. I meant to start it yesterday and I didn't, so I've only got until Thursday to read these books. So I think Iron Flame, I think I'm going to read super quickly this weekend. I think Wildfire, I'm probably going to speed through. And I think Golden Enclaves I can speed through because it's quite diddy. I don't think it is massively likely that I'm going to get to Swordcatcher, but I would really like to. So they are my reading plans for this week. I am reading my most anticipated books, or at least books that I just really want to read. My 23 and 23 TBR has failed, gone out the window. I give up. I think if I'm going to do I'm not going to do a 24 and 24, that's too many books. If I do like a 12 and 12 next year, I am going to be a lot more considerate of what books to put on there, because I think this year I put on books that I felt I should read rather than books that I was genuinely really excited to read. I also hadn't put on any upcoming releases, which I think would be a good idea for next year, because they're the ones that I am generally kind of drawn towards wanting to read if I know they're coming out. Anyway, that is that. I'm going to start reading, and I will catch up with you when I catch up with you next. Bye. Hello. It's Sunday evening and it's like, it's only 6:30. Sweet. So I don't think I actually checked in before I went to bed last night. I don't really remember, but I am about 100 pages. I'm 94 pages into Iron Flame. So before I start reading again for tonight, I'm going to just give you like my thoughts on where I'm at so far. So far, I'm enjoying it. I feel like there's a lot of setup. And I feel like there's still a bit of info dumpy. The world building I don't feel is the best I've ever read. However, that doesn't impact my enjoyment. So far we're kind of seeing Violet cope with being away from Xaden. Obviously their dragons are bonded. They can't be away apart from each other for too long. The rule has come down that they can each visit the other every other week, which means they'll see each other once a week, but they're like half a day's flight apart, so they only actually get to see each other for a matter of hours. I feel like that's going to change soon, because I feel like their dragons are going to be like, nah, we'll see each other more than this. We've got Andana, the little dragon, who, after what she did at the end of Fourth Wing, has now kind of gone through basically a bit of a growth spurt. And I'm loving her so much. She is so snarky and so grumpy, and it's just fab. Yeah, really good. You can't tell too well because I'm only like 100 pages in, but I am tabbing. I'm annotating in as much as I'm tabbing. I'm not drawing in there. So far there has been one that I've tabbed, one piece that I've tabbed as shock. There was a first year who decided he did not like Violet, and that shocked me. I mean, not that he didn't like her, but like the reaction, the thing. There's also a new character whose name I've forgotten again. So yeah, we've got a new character who is a new like colonel in the War College, and he seems to be a bit of a bastard. Violet's like big grumpy dragon, really hates his dragon and has already like blinded his dragon in the past. The new guy's dragon only has one eye. Yeah, so that dragon and this new guy seem to be completely unhinged. I think they're going to be the new bad guy of the like area. We have still got Dane around. He is the new wing leader, and he is again bad guy. Well, he's trying his best to be like not evil, but also I feel like Dane is very much my dad told me to do this and so I'm doing it, I'm not questioning, rather than I am inherently a bad person. But yeah, so far I'm enjoying it. I am going to carry on reading, and I will check back in with you probably when I'm at the next sort of about the 200 page mark. Hello. I am very blue and I don't know why that's happened. But anyway, we're going as well with it. So it is Monday, kind of lunchtime. And I don't actually remember whether I updated you after I finished reading it yesterday. So I'm going to do that now. And then I'm going to read this afternoon. Okay. I've accidentally got 5 books on the go and I don't really know quite how that happened. So we're going to start off with the all-important Iron Flame. I'm up to about page 200. So nothing's really happened yet. All of my friends just keep on saying, just keep reading. And they all agree that this is a legit critique, that nothing has happened yet. But yeah, I'm wanting a bit more action. So I'm going to be reading Iron Flame this evening when I finish work. I'm also still going with the heroes. So I read some of this morning. This isn't my favourite Joe Abercrombie, just purely because I feel like what I've really liked with the Joe Abercrombie books I've read so far has been the characters. And with the last book, Best Served Cold, we got a whole new like cast of characters. Which was fine because I actually really liked those characters. It was a small enough cast that it was about 7 or 8 new characters. So it was a small enough cast that I could get to know them all and I could like basically follow them within the like 600 page book. With the heroes, we've got another brand new cast of characters, and some of them we have seen previously. So some of them we have seen in the first trilogy, and we've got Shivers, who we saw more of in Best Served Cold. But there are so many more new characters. There's probably no one in here has been like a main character in a previous book. Bayaz is in here, but he doesn't have like a point of view, and same Shivers is in here, but again he doesn't have a point of view either. They appear in other people's point of views. There's probably about 20 different point of views, and I'm just kind of like, who is who? Every time I switch to a new point of view, I'm like, who is this person? Why do I care? So I'm just struggling to connect to the characters so far in this one, which is a bit of a shame. I'll need to get this one read for next weekend because the live show for the heroes, which is reading this one for the Backlist Book Club, hosted by Becca at Becca and the Books, and the live show will be next weekend. The next one is another book club book, which is the very, very chunky Lord of Chaos, which is book 6 in the Wheel of Time. So yesterday I read the prologue, which was 75 pages long. Yep. I'm listening to this one on audio. I'm going to read along as I go if needs be, but I'm basically having the audiobook playing while I'm working, especially like when I'm doing things that I don't need to be doing huge amounts of kind of actually concentrating or like have other like words in my head for, if that makes sense. So I have again got it broken down, and I think this is again in about 60-page splits to read each day. This one is for the Wheel of Time Along, which is hosted by Sandra. I got a thing for things, and the live show for this one will be at the beginning of December. So I've got about 2 weeks to read this. This one is chunky. It is over 1,000 pages. Like it's about 1,030, which is too long. Books do not need to be over 1,000 pages. Like it is just too many pages. So I'm up to, I don't really know where I'm up to actually because I'm audioing it. But I will be getting up to page 118, I think, today if I finish today's section, which is progress. I'm also reading Joe Nothing's Guide to Life. This one is for a tandem read-along. I am working on this book. The read-along is currently taking place, and I am kind of reading along with the group because so me and Jen are working on this one together. She read the book. I'm just kind of taking part in it as we go along. I am really enjoying it. It is super, super cute. And then finally, I've also got Something Wicked on the go. So this one I put down, if you saw my last week's vlog, you see I put this one down at the beginning of last week's vlog because I wanted to read series and books for my self-destruct list. So I am 72 pages into Something Wicked. I haven't picked it up since. This one was a bit of a 5-star prediction. I just expected that I would love it. And to be honest, it's not yet quite at that sort of 5-star stage. But I want to get this one read really in the next, ideally this week, to be totally honest, because it's a witchy romance. And as we move further through November, I am not going to want to read any more witchy romances, especially one like this one, which is very much like a Halloween. So I do want to get this one read soon. It's less than 300 pages, it's like 290 pages. I should be able to just like whack through it in a day. But so yeah, basically my plan today, put you down. I think I'm going to get my day section of Lord of Chaos done because I think I've got like a chapter left on audio for today, so that one there is fine. I think I've got about 20 pages of today's section left of the heroes. I am technically still one day behind for the heroes, but I'm going to just catch up with that at the weekend. I'm not going to worry about that one now. I feel with Iron Flame, everybody tells me to keep on reading, and obviously I will. Like I said, I'm at 200 pages. In our group chat, lots of people there's like 5 of us reading the book at various times. And I think 3 people just sent a screenshot of part 2. And they're like, just no context, just part 2. That's about 30 pages away from me at the moment. So I have a feeling that the first cliffhanger is going to start at the end of part 1, and that's going to make me just carry on reading. So I want to read at least 100 pages of Iron Flame. But I might read more of that. And same with Joe Nothing. I'd like to read 100 pages of Joe Nothing just to kind of like power through it, because I'm kind of reading it alongside the read-along participants. I would like to get ahead just so that I can actually in the mornings be like, hey, so what did we think of this part? Rather than be behind. But yeah, we will see. Anyway, that is my very rambly reading update. I will catch up with you this afternoon or this evening when I have read a little bit more of Iron Flame, because that's the purpose of this vlog. Anyway, talk to you later. Hello, it is like 10:30 and I am about to go to bed, but I no, I haven't updated you on Iron Flame. So I am up to about page 330 of Iron Flame. I am at the end of part 1. The plot started. So at about page 270, I think it was that, I was voice noting my friends and I was like, look, I'm liking this. I'm liking it. It's fine. It's fine. But it feels like I'm reading the first like 300 pages of House of Earth and Blood where nothing has happened. And I stand by that statement. So there is no plot for nearly 300 pages. It's a lot of, I want to be with Xaden, but we're not allowed to be together. I'm going to run away and see Xaden. I'm really upset with Xaden because she's not telling me everything. Now I want to be with Xaden again. And honestly, like, Xaden became super whiny. Violet was just super, like, just kind of ridiculous because, like, no, you don't. Like, her behaviour, just, you know, when people become a really, like, possessive girlfriend and are like, you must tell me everything otherwise. And it's like, well, no, because there's certain things that I can't tell you because, you know, they're dangerous for you to know, or, you know, in the case of a normal human, I'm just not going to tell you absolutely everything because people have secrets and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And yeah, she was just very frustrating. But 330 pages in, the plot is about to start when I go back and start reading part 2. I'm excited. So far, like, if say this was the end of the book and I was writing the book, I'd be saying it's about a 3.5. Like, I've enjoyed it, it's been fine, but it's not been great. Just because there hasn't been any plot. But I know that the plot is about to start. I know it is going to be getting exciting. And I'm excited to read it tomorrow. I've got quite a lot of work on tomorrow, which is always stressful because lots of work and I would probably rather be reading. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed now and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye! Hello, I have just got out of the bath. It is Wednesday evening. It's about 8 o'clock on Wednesday evening. I don't know if I actually updated you after I finished reading last night. I don't think I did, but I am on page 511 of Iron Flame. Stick my bookmark out so you can see where I'm up to. I've got about 100 pages left and I have thoughts. So I'm gonna share my thoughts now, but I am also caveating them with the fact that I have got 100 pages left, and based on Fourth Wing, I think the ending is going to be dramatic. So I'm not happy with the amount of plot conveniences and sloppy world building. There are a lot of things that are like mentioned which I don't actually understand. So for example, there's something called a luminary which they're looking for. I don't know what that is, and maybe I've missed the sentence where it was explained, very possible, but for something that is a key point to the plot and to the development of the storyline, I feel like it should be clear what it is that they're looking for. And that's just one example. There's other things where I'm just like, this is convenient, that doesn't make sense. So that is frustrating me. I mean, the info dumping also is frustrating me, but it's and for me, I feel like Rebecca Yarros, who has written about 20 books, should know how to plot and she should know how to world build. And even though I appreciate this is her first fantasy, I still feel like she should know how to plot and world build better than this. I feel like it's quite sloppy writing, which is, to be honest, a critique I had with Fourth Wing, but it didn't bother me so much with Fourth Wing because I thought that the story itself was so engaging. And don't get me wrong, Iron Flame is full of twists and turns. There are so many cliffhangers throughout that, you know, it's It's hard to put down, absolutely. But it is, there are parts I'm like, come on, like this could have been done better. And the other thing that's really frustrated me, well, the two other things that are really frustrating me, one is Violet, one is Xaden. So in book one, Violet is this super independent, badass female. In book two, she's gone just incredibly whiny. And I'm like, you realise that every single one of your problems could be solved by you asking Xaden the question that you are like complaining about. But no, which is what he's asking her to do throughout. But no, instead of actually like speaking to her partner, she berates him for not answering the questions that she hasn't asked or realised were like, he's not a mind reader, just talk to the man. And then there's Xaden, who is honestly annoyed, is from my enjoyment of Xaden in book one to my enjoyment of Xaden in book two, it has gone downhill sharply. So again, book one, Xaden treated Violet with so much respect. He expected her to do everything herself. He expected her to fight, to be independent. He wasn't like mollycoddling her. He wasn't protecting her. He was just like supportive. Whereas in book two, I feel like if he could lock her up in a tower and sit there until everything's blown over, he would. He's being so overprotective. He's being so dramatic, and just his character is completely different, and I'm really not. It's just, I really liked his character in book one, and it's completely ruined. This is a similar kind of feeling to what I felt with like Rhys from book two, from like Akamath to Silver Flames. Bracken clearly has no idea of like the seriousness of this update. Anyway, I've got 100 pages left. I'm going to read those 100 pages and then I will come back and tell you my thoughts. Because it is Wednesday evening, I'm wrapping up this vlog tomorrow. I'm probably just going to wrap it up once I finish Iron Flame. I'm not going to read another book in a day, which, to be honest, I am disappointed with. I wanted to have read Iron Flame a lot quicker than this. Wanted to get another book read at least. I mean, I have made progress. I'm reading 5 books at the moment. I have made progress with like the others that I am reading, but yeah, we've only got one completed book to discuss, unfortunately. And I haven't even completed that one yet. So I'm going to go back to reading, and I will talk to you again in, I don't know, a couple of hours. Bye. Okay, it's about 10:30. I have finished Iron Flame. So I'm going to come back tomorrow with like full thoughts. Like I've literally just read the last page now. I don't feel particularly shocked by the end. And I know it was designed to be shocking, but to be honest, I feel like it just kind of got to a point where I was like, I'm expecting something to kind of happen. So it didn't like massively shock me. So you can probably tell there has not been a single tear, not a single emotion. And I feel like there should have been some emotion. Yeah, I'm going to bring full thoughts, cohesive, thoughts and opinions and review and everything tomorrow. It's not a 5-star. Like, it's good. I've enjoyed it. It's been a really fun read. It's a series I'd recommend, but I see many faults. So I'm going to go to bed and think. Good. Hello, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on Iron Flame and wrap this vlog up It's Thursday evening at the moment, so I'm not going to read anything else. I am a little bit disappointed that I didn't get a second book at the least read this week. However, I'm not too mad about it. Hi Bracken, my darling. I have made progress in The Heroes, Joe Nothing's Guide to Life, and Lord of Chaos. So I've read a lot this week, but the only book I finished is Iron Flame. So, are we ready for my thoughts? To start off with the things that I liked about Iron Flame, I really liked the dragons. I thought they had fantastic characters and I really liked their kind of snarkiness. I'm going to do this without spoilers. I really liked the friendship group. So like Rhiannon, Riddick and Sawyer. I really liked them. I liked, it was very fast paced, which I enjoyed. What I did not enjoy so much, I have issues with the world building and the writing, I guess. I feel like there was a lot of info dumps, which I forgave in book 1. I'm not able to forgive in book 2. I felt the world building was very sloppy at times, and I felt like there were parts that needed to be edited again. I won't give any specifics because I don't want to give any spoilers, but there was a part... Oh, how can I say this without spoiling anything? There was a part when they were asked to, like, check something. And then that's never referred back to. And it's set up to be a big plot point, but it's never referred back to. And, yeah, if you want to know what I'm talking about, just message me and I'll let you know. But I'm not going to spoil. Yeah, which just I kind of was like... It felt like somebody had taken this plot point, edited out the second half of it, and forgotten to go back and reread through everything and edit out that first part. So just there were a couple of times like that when things just it was like an inconsistency and it just didn't quite make sense. I also didn't like Violet and Xaden in this book. In book 1, I loved their characters. I loved how independent Violet was. I loved how she was like, she can do it all. She doesn't need help. And I loved how Xaden was so supportive and so kind of like strong in the fact that he was able to say, you do it. I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to like pamper you and protect you. You do it. And I just felt like they both changed so much in this book. I felt like Violet was very kind of whiny. She kept on seeming to be needing like extra help and support. The miscommunication just drove me up the wall, especially with the fact that Xaden kept on saying, ask me anything you want. I know you're upset about something. Talk to me about it. And Violet just seemed to go, no, I just want you to know magically what's wrong and fix it all. And it's like, no, that's not how things work. Talk to the man. And then Xaden as well got so overprotective, like to extreme levels. I felt like he was Akamath Tamlin in this book, and I was just like, that really frustrated me. But I definitely do want to continue the series. I definitely enjoyed the book. I gave it 4 stars, which I do feel like is quite a fair rating. I think that it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. There were just more flaws than I was able to look past. Whereas in book 1, you know, these flaws are here, like I said, the writing issues, which I forgave with book 1, I was able to look past because the plot was so fast-paced, the characters were fantastic, and I could kind of forgive the writing. But in this one, the plot was slower, the characters I didn't like, or like the characters weren't quite as good, so I couldn't forgive the writing. And for me, those are the 3 kind of main things that I look for in a book. I like the writing, I like characters, and I like a plot. And all 3 were kind of lacking in this one. And again, like, that's not really fair. The plot was really good, but it was let down by the writing and also let down by the characters. So it kind of, you know, that tripod just didn't really stand up there. Do definitely want to continue, like I said, do definitely want to continue the series. I I feel like Iron Flame has been a little bit of a victim of its own success because, first of all, Fourth Wing was so popular, it would have been almost impossible to kind of like meet that level of expectation. And secondly, Fourth Wing only came out in May, I think, this year. So 6 months later, she's got a second book out, which is over 600 pages. Now, my assumption is Rebecca Yarros had written and completed both books before she sold the rights to Fourth Wing, because I don't think she'd have been able to have written, edited, sold, and got published a book in 6 months. So again, I'm making that assumption they were sold together and they were both finished books. But I feel like there has to be something said on the publishing house. Push this book back. Push it back by another few months and give it the edits and the time that it deserves. Rushing 2 books in a series, in a big chunky fantasy series out within 6 months of each other, I think is irresponsible. Because irresponsible sounds like a very extreme word to use, but I don't think it's right. Because the other thing is, for us as the poor reader, it's probably going to be 2 years before the next one comes out now, because she's got to write the book. And I'm unless she had written, the full trilogy or whatever, in which case these edits need to be done. And I think as well, my last thought that I'm saying on this before I do move on, the issue with the writing that I really can't forgive. Boo boo, you come up to say hello. Rebecca Yarros has written over 20 books. I expect an author who is that prolific to be able to build a world and to plot and to build characters without having to resort to info dumping or sloppy world building. And I'm aware that this is her first fantasy, and she mainly normally writes contemporary, but even in contemporary, you world build. And for me, that was what was really desperately lacking, was good world building. So yeah, 4 stars. I did really like it. It was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. Like I said, I am going to wrap this vlog up now. A little bit disappointed I didn't get to any of the other anticipated books that I wanted to read this week. I wanted to have read Wildfire and probably The Golden Enclaves as well this week. And I'll be honest, though, I feel like I would have if Iron Flame had been a little bit more gripping. There was a point last night when I was like, might just go to bed, and then I realised I had 50 pages left, and I was like, I may as well finish it, but I could have gone to bed there at 50 pages from the end, which I wasn't expecting to feel. Anyway, on that slightly bum note, I'm going to wrap this vlog up. If you like this video, leave me a like, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.